Today's video is about Spain's conquest of the Aztec Empire during the Age of Exploration. This war was truly one of the most insane battles in history. Just about 1,000 Spanish soldiers took on the mighty Aztec Empire, home to over 6 million people. If we're talking about wars where a tiny force took on an overwhelmingly larger enemy, this one has to be at the top of the list. So let's dive right in. The story begins in the 16th century during Spain's Age of Exploration. Word had spread that the newly discovered lands of the Americas were overflowing with gold. Naturally, fortune seekers from all over Spain packed their bags and set sail, hoping to strike it rich in the New World. They ignited a firestorm of greed and ambition. The desire to conquer and claim these riches for Spain became an obsession. The Spanish crown, eager to expand its power and wealth, funded expeditions across the Atlantic. These voyages were seen as a means to elevate Spain's status on the world stage. Explorers, driven by the promise of gold and the zeal for conversion, embarked on perilous journeys. They faced treacherous seas and unknown dangers. They sought new lands, new riches, and new souls to convert. The New World was a land of opportunity and peril. Among these explorers was Cortés, a man of insatiable ambition. His determination and strategic mind set him apart. He would become a key figure in the Spanish conquest of the New World. His actions would change the course of history. His name would forever be etched in history, intertwined with the fall of the once mighty Aztec Empire. The legacy of his conquests remains a topic of fascination and controversy to this day. Born into a family of lesser nobility, Cortés yearned for more than his provincial upbringing offered. From a young age, he was driven by a desire to rise above his station and make a name for himself. The stories of explorers and conquerors filled his imagination, and he dreamed of distant lands and untold riches. He saw the New World as a canvas for his ambition. The vast, uncharted territories promised endless opportunities for someone with the courage and vision to seize them. It was a place where he could carve out his own legend. Cortés envisioned himself as a great leader, a man whose name would be remembered for generations. In 1504, at the age of 19, he set sail for Hispaniola. This was the first step in his journey to greatness, leaving behind the familiar and venturing into the unknown. Cortés quickly rose through the ranks. His leadership skills and determination did not go unnoticed, and he soon found himself in positions of increasing responsibility. He gained experience in exploration and conquest. Each new challenge honed his abilities and fueled his ambition further. His ruthlessness and cunning were evident. Cortés was not afraid to use any means necessary to achieve his objectives, and his reputation for being both strategic and merciless grew. He participated in the conquest of Cuba. This campaign was a significant milestone in his career, showcasing his ability to lead and conquer. It was a brutal campaign that showcased his tactical skills and his capacity for violence. But Cortés craved more. The victories in Cuba were not enough to satisfy his insatiable hunger for power and wealth. He hungered for greater conquests and greater riches. The tales of vast empires and unimaginable treasures in the mainland stirred his ambition to new heights. When rumors of a wealthy empire in the mainland reached him, his ambition surged. The Aztec Empire, with its legendary riches, became his ultimate target. He saw an opportunity to claim unimaginable power and wealth. The prospect of conquering such a vast and wealthy empire was too enticing to resist. He would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Cortés was prepared to face any obstacle, betray any ally, and crush any enemy to fulfill his dreams of glory and domination. In 1518, Hernán Cortés, a Spanish conquistador, secured a commission to explore and trade with the mainland of the Americas. This commission was a significant opportunity, as it allowed him to venture into uncharted territories and potentially discover immense wealth and new lands for the Spanish crown. This land was rumored to hold the legendary Aztec Empire, a civilization known for its vast riches, advanced architecture, and powerful armies. The tales of gold and treasures had reached the ears of many in Spain, fueling ambitions and dreams of conquest. However, the governor of Cuba, Diego Velázquez de Cuellar, grew increasingly suspicious of Cortés's ambition. Velázquez, who had initially supported Cortés, began to fear that Cortés's success would overshadow his own authority and position. Acting on his suspicions, Velázquez decided to revoke the commission, fearing that Cortés would claim the potential riches and glory for himself, leaving Velázquez with nothing but regret and diminished power. Undeterred by this setback, Cortés chose to defy the governor's orders. His determination and resolve were unshaken, as he believed that his destiny lay in the uncharted lands of the Aztec Empire. He set sail with 11 ships and over 500 men, embarking on a perilous journey across the seas. This bold move was not just an act of defiance, but a testament to his unwavering belief in his mission. This act of defiance sealed his fate. Cortés was now an outlaw in the eyes of the Spanish authorities, but he was also free from the constraints that had previously bound him. He was now an outlaw, but he was also free to pursue his destiny. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, Cortés was determined to carve out his own path and make his mark on history. His expedition would become a pivotal moment in history, leading to the downfall of the Aztec civilization. The impact of his journey would be felt for centuries, reshaping the course of history and the fate of an entire continent. Upon landing on the Yucatan Peninsula, Cortés encountered indigenous populations. They were under Aztec rule but deeply resented their Aztec overlords. They suffered under the oppressive tribute system and lived in fear of the Aztecs' brutal practices. Cortés, a shrewd strategist, recognized an opportunity. He exploited this resentment. He skillfully played different factions against each other. He promised freedom from Aztec oppression in exchange for their allegiance. He knew that to conquer the Aztecs, he needed to turn their subjects against them. Section 5. The Reign of Terror, Unveiling the Aztec Practices. The Aztec Empire, centered in the grand city of Tenochtitlan, was a civilization steeped in both grandeur and brutality. They worshipped a pantheon of gods. These gods demanded blood sacrifice on a massive scale to maintain the cosmic order. Captives of war, often from subjugated tribes, were led up the steps of towering pyramids. They were sacrificed in gruesome rituals. Their hearts were ripped out, their bodies were offered to the gods. This reign of terror instilled fear and resentment throughout the empire. It provided Cortés with a powerful tool to rally allies against the Aztecs. Section 6. Forging Alliances, Indigenous Peoples versus the Aztec Empire. Cortés's promise of liberation resonated with the oppressed indigenous populations. Many saw him as a liberator. Fight with me, and we will destroy the Aztecs together. They were eager to break free from Aztec domination. With every new ally, his army grew stronger. Eventually, he founded Veracruz, the first Spanish settlement in Central America, and set his sights on his ultimate prize, the heart of the Aztec Empire. They provided him with thousands of warriors. The Tlaxcalans, fierce warriors who had long resisted Aztec rule, became instrumental in Cortés's campaign. They guided him through the treacherous mountain passes towards Tenochtitlan. This alliance proved to be a turning point, and with every new ally, his army grew stronger. Eventually, he founded Veracruz, the first Spanish settlement in Central America, and set his sights on his ultimate prize, the heart of the Aztec Empire. Section 7. The March on Tenochtitlan, a city under siege. In November 1519, Cortés and his army, now bolstered by thousands of indigenous allies, marched on Tenochtitlan. The Spaniards were astonished by the sight of the city. It was an island city connected by causeways, a testament to Aztec engineering and a beacon of their civilization. With steel armor, muskets, horses, and a growing army of indigenous warriors, Cortés began his march toward Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital. determined to bring down an empire. Montezuma II, the Aztec emperor, hesitated. He was unsure whether Cortés was a god or a harbinger of destruction. He allowed Cortés and his forces to enter the city. This decision would prove fatal. It gave Cortés a foothold within the heart of the Aztec Empire, and that's where our story really begins, to be continued.